So greetings to you. Greetings and welcome to Uncensored Guyana. I'm Dr. Prasad, and I'm a real doctor. I have a packed agenda for today. It is the first working day of the week, and I'm working. So therefore, I need to start your week with what's important and to keep your mind on the right track so that your emotions can be well spent and properly invested and not wasted behind the PNC. I want to touch a bit more on the Joe issue, the Joe Jagmohan issue. I want to touch on the Trump issue. I also want to touch on what's circulating in the PNC camp and the fact that Guyanese need to be warned on what's coming. Yes, Guyanese needs to be warned on as to what's coming. Nonetheless, just a bit distraction there. Anyway, look, I understand the evil in jealousy. I also understand how malice can devastate people and how emotions, if your emotions are not managed properly, how it can actually engineer your thoughts into wanting to do what is to the detriment of those you deem a threat or you consider a threat to your own survival. It is not always meritorious, it's not always a good direction to pursue, because what's the point? I've always advocated for celebrating progress, celebrating the people who are championing the cause into making the world a better place. If your world is messed up, you can't hold somebody else responsible for that. You have to examine your own choices, examine your own practices. I mean, even if your family are some losers, as long as you reach the age of adulthood, every decision you make is you. It's on the content of who you are. So if you want to associate your failures with your father or your mother, then that's your thing. But you cannot extend your failure to somebody who doesn't look like you. Not even the government should take responsibility for your failure as an individual. You have all these people who have, I don't know who they are, but they think they're doing me a favor, reaching out to me after my program yesterday, and I posted it on across platforms. And people have reached out personally via TikTok and even after my show on YouTube, and thinking that they're doing me a favor, telling me things that are not in the public sphere about this gentleman, Joe Jagmohan. And let me tell you this. I have not done a deep dive into the person Joe Jagmohan before I did my program yesterday. I was impressed by the sheriff's article. I read it. I was moved. And based on that, my emotions were built around that reality that this great soul, this great Jaganite, I don't know if he's a Jaganite, but I think anybody who does that for the good of their country, especially in Guyana, they have to be a Jaganite. They can't be a Bornamite. Bornamite is not about building, it's about separation, division, and killing. Jaganite is about empowerment, life, health. That's Jaganite. So if Joe Jagmohan, see, Jagmohan, Jaganite, Jagmohan, there's some kind of resemblance in the name and the term. If he has done that for the Guyanese citizen, by default, you would think that somebody like that would be a PPP member or a Jaganite. Now, I'll say this to the haters, to the haters. If it were an Afro-Guyanese who did that, I would have had the same reaction. Or a Chinese or a Caucasian, I would have had the same reaction. I celebrate good people. I celebrate humans, humanitarians. I celebrate people who have no ulterior motive when they're doing good. I celebrate that, regardless of who it is. So to the haters, damn you. Damn you. Your failure is what is causing you to be so blinded by the fact that you have a great soul, a saint of a man who could have used his money, his resources to build a housing scheme. You know how much houses you can build with 160 million? You have any idea how much? You know what you can do with that kind of money? He could have built a scheme and rented houses or sell houses and make a large profit turnover. He could have empowered himself with his own money, but instead, he gave it to total strangers who doesn't even look like him. And you have the audacity to contact me and try to debase the man? Damn you. I'm not into petty politics, or otherwise I'll call your names, I'll publish your profiles. But I'm not into petty politics. I know that the Mohammeds can't put you up for that. They put you up to that. But if they're watching my shows and they understand who Dr. Prasad is, they know I'm not easily dissuaded. You can't easily pull me to some side. You can't do that. You have to come with your facts. And I did the research. Thanks to a lot of you, I did the research. One, I've searched the database of the Guyana legal system. I've searched the FBI database. I've searched the CIA database. I've searched Interpol database, and there is nothing against Joe Jagmohan. Nothing. The man is not sanctioned by any country. He's not wanted by any country. He has no criminal activities tied to his name. The man is as clean as a baby. That's the first businessman, entrepreneur that I came across that has zero criminal record. The first. So thanks to you idiots in having me do my research, a deep dive into this Joe Jagmohan, I realized that the man is more than just a gentleman. He's a saint. He's one of Guyana's heroes. Thanks to you. You see, that's what hatred does. Your hatred caused me to be more educated, and now I'm happy that I really spoke on behalf of this great soul. Because now I realize that he's the real deal. The man has no ulterior motive. There's nothing there that the man has run for politics or run for office or on the candidate list of any party. Nothing. The man is just a clean, honest, decent, law-abiding, patriotic Guyanese who love his people. That's all. That's all. I am happy that I am able to speak in promoting a good deed that a man like Joe Jagmohan has done. So again, to you idiots, he's not sanctioned. by no country. The man can travel to any part of the world and he would pass through any airport free. Bravo, Joe Jagmohan, bravo. The first time you have a man with such a heart, did such a good for Guyanese, and he's as clean as a baby, innocent as a toddler, beautiful as a virgin. Yeah, I see his picture. I don't know if he's pretty. I don't see his picture. But I Googled, I researched, I checked the databases. So your haters, get your facts together. Tell Muhammad, not everybody who makes donations are criminals. And all the donations that he made, Azruddin Muhammad, all the donations that he has made over the years, which is about 4 years, all the houses pulled together, I did research on that too. It's about 15 houses that he would have gotten donations from these sawmills. You know, these sawmills donate some lumber to his so-called, what do you call it again? Philanthropy, to build some houses. Oh, I'm helping the poor because I'm a good Muslim. I'm helping the people. I have no ulterior motive. I just want to help Guyanese, you know, because I'm a good Muslim. Nobody knew about his crimes. Nothing was published yet. So you got all these cheap wood and volunteers to build these houses that if a storm comes, you got to thank the universe that Guyana don't have earthquakes and hurricanes or heavy storm. Then you would see the real quality of the Muhammad's houses. I mean, the ones he donated. The 15 houses. If you put all that together, it would not reach 10 million Guyana dollars. It wouldn't reach. Let's give him that. 10 million Guyana dollars. Total investment from his so-called foundation or so-called business or whatever that he declared in taxes that he gave charity. Now he owes over 40 billion. Remember that. He owes the Guyanese people in taxes and royalties over 40 billion. And he would have donated just about 10 million. And the whole world needed to know. He made sure that his paid online pundits carried the story. He made sure that he paid the people who have a more louder platform to share his stuff, to comment on this. He made sure that he wants you to know that he donated 10 million. And to no one's surprise, to save his ass from getting on the plane, economy style, and taking up residence in the federal prison, he started a political party. And then start with the rhetoric that the government is after him. The government is conspiring and colluding with the Americans to get him. And it worked. Because those poor, vulnerable people that was seduced and coerced and bribed and paid, and they fear mongering from the wind people into these innocent Guyanese's mind to tell them that, hey, the government don't want you to be rich. The government wants to keep you poor. I would make you rich as Muhammad. You'll be like me. Remember that text in the Bible? When the devil told Jesus so that the mount where he was fasting, the 40 days, and he says, bow down and worship me, and I'll give you all of this. You'll be the king. You'll be like me. You'll be a god. Remember that? Does it sound familiar? I told you Muhammad is the devil. Satan does possess people, you know. He doesn't come in person. He possesses people, and he possesses the most nasty, corrupt souls. And the Muhammad was on the head of the list. And Satan decided that I can get a few of these Negroes on my side, but I need a billionaire that I can possess. And he did it. Possessed the Muhammads. Sadly, He got some votes. Bear in mind, he started giving out some donations and spreading it across social media. The local media houses covered it, propelled him to the point where he started a political party, got a few of his gangster thugs to join him, and they joined together. They gang up on the innocent Guyanese. They raped the innocent Guyanese of their innocence of trust. They took advantage of it. Are you going to make comparisons? I also heard from people who said to me, thank you for highlighting what this Mr. Jagmohan has done. The people who complimented me for that were more than the critics. One woman told me that she says, I know this man personally. She resides in Guyana. She says, Doc, I know this man personally. And I went to him years ago. She said, I went to him a few years ago. She had a problem. She said, I went to his office a few years ago. And immediately, she said, immediately, that man took money out and he calls somebody he called. She says, and her problem was solved. She said, my problem was solved. So thank you for doing what you did on behalf of this Joe Jagmohan. Many people talk good about the man. But had it not been for the sheriff's broadcast, the sheriff's piece, I would not have known that this man exists. I would not have known that he has done so much for Guyanese. Nobody would have known. Nobody would have known. Imagine if the Mohammeds had done that. They wouldn't have, because they're greedy. They're selfish people. They wouldn't have done that. But there are many other Guyanese. Oh, and this man is a Hindu, I heard. He's a Hindu. He's not a Muslim. He's Hindu. Maybe the Hindus are more generous. I know the Christians aren't. I know the Christians are not. The Guyanese Christians are not generous. I know that for sure. But this is a comparison you, the average Guyanese, need to make. Who would you trust? A man who has done good all his life and nobody knows about? Or a man who pretends to like poor people and he has done the so-called good because he's trying to fight his criminal case in the hearts of the average, decent, poor, vulnerable Guyanese. So he made it look like he's a good person. I'm talking about the Mohammeds. Nothing they did you can trust. Nothing they had done you can trust. Because their motive is what is now. Imagine, look at the desperation that he's going to call protest. He's going to defile the parliament. He's going to seek to blaspheme against the Speaker of the House simply because he is in a hurry to get a title as opposition leader, not even president. Opposition leader, to oppose everything the president tries to do. That's his job. And you want to trust such a person? The man is a snake. He's a two-headed snake. He's a wolf in a sheep's clothing. He's dangerous. Azruddin Mohammed is dangerous. Remember I said before, I would not take the initiative to call it out, but I've heard his name float around with the Phantom Squad and this Roger Khan guy and all these things. I've heard his name float around back in the day. I've heard about them. But I had nothing to come with to say that this is the evidence. But I'm telling you, they were associated with the worst of the worst of the worst, now coming to pretend to be decent. And what is even more ironic, every time this fool goes to court, he wears white. You know the whole psychology thing, blue keeps you calm and trusts, you know, You wear blue, your audience is get a sense of calm and a sense of trust, and they focus more, they pay attention. When you wear red, it represents masculinity and dominance. This is why you find Donald Trump is always in red, red tie. Psychology of colors. It also says that white represents innocence. So if you have a case before the court, you always wear white. So somehow it tells the jury and the judge, it works subliminally on their conscience that, hey, this person is innocent. There's such a purity about him. That psychology, Muhammad, ain't gonna work. Like I tell you, I'm a genius. I'm an actual doctor. I'm smart. I ain't saying stuff that I don't know. I mean, come on, I've been on this thing for a long time. But I'm exposing your bullshit. So people know the game you are playing. And you didn't come up with that. Your advisors will be the one to tell you, you have to wear white, be simple, be this, be that, because you want to, blue is this. And yeah. Don't think I know that? You planned the protest on Friday because of your case? I mean, you have this massive case against you. In the federal prison, they don't wear white there. I think it's an orange jumpsuit you have to wear. No white. And you're going to dress like a school teacher to appear before a judge. And when you're going into the ghetto, you wear your finest suits. But in the court, you wear a shirt and just to try to appear that you're broke and simple. And it's bad psychology. You did the wrong thing. Too bad I can't advise you because I can't take your money. You fucking idiot. So tell your people, if you should put Joe Jagmohan on a scale and Azzuddin Mohammed on a scale, the scale wouldn't move. Because Joe is a feather. It's light as a feather. Nothing, no burden, no crimes. Pure as an angel. And there are many more like him, based on what I heard. There are many more like him that nobody knows about. Well, I need to know who they are. All the persons who are doing their best to help Guyana, to help Guyanese, please let me know who they are, because I need to talk about them on my platform. I need to promote them. I need to give them a round of applause. I need to let the world know that Guyana has decent citizens who are not criminals, who are doing good for their country and their people, just because they're kind, but not because they want to distract the society from their crimes. That's what the Mohammeds have done. Pretend to be nice because they know the crimes they've done. They want to distract. It's like he who throws the first stone is the one that's guilty. Yeah, now we know. See, nobody showed up for their protest. Nobody showed up. Who showed up? Their wedding party. Look who showed up for their protest. His disgraceful sister that disgraced the Indian community by marrying to this lowlife, this so-called Caucasian guy from Russia. Anyway, it's Sunday, the first day of the week. So let's move on. Listen, Guyanese. President Donald Trump himself yesterday, President Trump himself, with his own hands, made it official that the Venezuelan airspace is closed indefinitely. And he's warning all airlines, all countries, everyone is warning, avoid Venezuelan airspace. Don't fly around it. Don't fly over it. Don't go in the country because you'll be bombed out of the sky. He didn't say the bomb part, but you get the picture. He has made it official that the war has begun. He has made it official. They had conversations, him and Maduro had conversations about a week ago. And Maduro did not accept the amnesty he was being offered. Leave the country and go retire somewhere in Russia or China. No, he didn't want that. He wanted to stay as president and continue with his rampage of corruption and drugs and violence and political witch hunting and his actual plan to annex Essequibo. His actual plan, he wants to achieve that, to annex Essequibo. So you see, Guyanese, there is no end when it comes to Venezuelans' threat against Guyana. There is no end to that. As long as Maduro remains as president, the threat is alive. The threat is alive. And since he turned down Trump's offer and he banned a few countries from going into Venezuela, the American president just declared war, shut down the Venezuelan airspace. And there are people saying, oh, he can't do that. Yes, he can. You mean the Venezuelans themselves have to shut down their airspace? Well, we saw that they can't, and they didn't. It's the Americans who shut down their airspace. Trump tell them, hey, I am closing your airspace. I am deciding that because I am the boss. And if I say it's closed, it's closed. You defy it. Fly over. Jump in your plane and go fly there. I'll bomb you out of the sky. And who's gonna stop me? Who's gonna tell me something? That's the power of a real president. That's the power of a mighty man, and that's what I admire about Trump. He means business. He made an offer. Maduro turned it down because Maduro's mind wants to mess up Guyana. He wants to eradicate Guyana. Maduro wants to reduce Guyana to Demerara, one county. He wants to take the whole of the country and shift all Guyanese to occupy just a small part. Yeah, that's his plan. He wants that. So Guyanese, whether you like the American president or not, you better get your ass behind Trump. You better get your butt behind Donald Trump and the Americans, because if it was not for Trump and the Americans, Maduro would have declared war on Guyana months ago. So a day like today, Guyana would have been in ruins, devastated, messed up, worse than Haiti. So you better thank Trump. You better stand behind that man. It is for our benefit that the Americans invade Venezuela, get rid of Maduro, and bring democracy to that country. It is for our benefit. And stop the flow of illegal immigrants from Venezuela to Guyana. You see the condition with AIDS? You know how many Venezuelan women brought AIDS to Guyana and gave to those dumbass Negroes who likes these light-skinned bitches from Venezuela? You know how many of them got AIDS from those women who came out of prisons from Venezuela, mental institutions? That's why when the Venezuelan women come to Guyana, they're killing their lovers. They're murdering their boyfriends. They're killing their lovers when they come to Guyana. They're violent women. They walk around the street practically naked. They stink. Their bodies are covered with piercing and tattoos. They're mental patients because they came out of mental institutions in Venezuela. Maduro's plan was to destabilize the Guyanese community. That's how come that's how he thinks, or that's how these imperialist nations seek to invade your country. They undermine you. They break your society. They destabilize your government. And when you are vulnerable, you are distracted, dealing with your internal issues, they move in. So Maduro flood Guyana with the worst of Venezuelans, the thieves, the thugs, the gang members, the prostitutes, the robbers, and look where they integrated. Look where? In the ghettos. They found comfort. They found accommodation in the ghettos of Guyana. In the ghettos. And these dumbass Guyanese men, these stupid Guyanese men, including Ashruddin Muhammad, these stupid Guyanese men, these fools, are going to leave the decent Guyanese women and go pay them Venezuelan prostitutes just because they can suck a dick better than a Guyanese woman, or they like it in their ass, because they're prostitutes. That's what prostitutes do. They suck dick and they take it in their ass. That's what they do. You're going to turn against your own high-class women in Guyana to go and sleep with those low-life scum from Venezuela and bring the AIDS and mess up the Guyanese community with that. These people aren't going to get tested because they're undocumented. They're undocumented, and they don't want to have this on their record. Because if they go on to get scanned and they go to get registered, they have to do all these medicals. They don't want to. So you have no idea, from the 50,000 or more Venezuelans that came to Guyana, how many of them had AIDS? Maybe all of them. So we should thank President Trump. The fact that the airspace is closed, it means the war has begun. The Americans are on the ground in Venezuela. The CIA is already busy with their covert operation. They're going to make it official with the bombs sometime today or maybe by Wednesday. And that idiot who likes to dance and can't dance, he's mocking Donald Trump. Maduro mocking Trump with the whole, the whole thing dance. Yeah. Mocking the man. He fled the country. Oh, yes, he's not in Venezuela. Since Wednesday. Since Wednesday, Maduro fled the country. He ain't in no bunker. Venezuela has no bunker that the Americans can't penetrate. What bunker? If they had a bunker, you think they wouldn't get Chavez? They weren't ready yet for that. But Maduro has fled Venezuela. He's not there. That's why the Americans closed the airspace, so he can't leave. But he left. He can leave via Colombia and the borders and just find his way to wherever. He's not in Venezuela. Since Wednesday. Today is Sunday. They're going to make up some makeshift place somewhere, and he's going to do whatever press conference from there and then fool the people that he's in the country. But he's not in the country. They're looking for him. He's not in the country. He's left Venezuela. So Guyanese, please rally behind your government. President Irfan Ali is working in unison with Trinidad, with all the countries that are standing behind this narco trade, this illegal human trafficking, the sex trafficking, the gangs. The Ali government is working in conjunction, and they're collaborating with the international partners to stop this. We need to stand behind our government and make sure that this practice is stopped. Don't join the PNC. Don't join the WIN people. They want to see destabilization come to Guyana. They want war to penetrate Guyana, because that means they can go ahead with their coup to get rid of Ali. We can't have that. Fellow Guyanese, we can't have that. And I want to challenge you on this. With all that's happening around the Ashruddin's case, all them press conferences that the PNC had, have you heard them mention anything about the WIN case and the parliament and the sanctions and so on? Have you heard that? They avoid the subject. Up to the day before, when they had their so-called press conference, they're babbling on the poor EU report. Imagine the European Union's report on the elections in Guyana. That is what got the PNC's attention. That's the prize. That's what they got. But they said nothing about the whole Muhammad issue. You would think that this is the man that brought them down. Ashudin Muhammad is the man that destroyed the PNC, that took all the black votes. Matter of fact, let me make it more common. Norton, that little Indian boy took your woman. Okay? Your woman left you for the little Indian boy. Aren't you embarrassed? Aren't you ashamed of it? You should use the opportunity to get even. Every chance you get, you should be attacking Ashudin Muhammad because the man stole your woman. Yes, the black people you thought you had that belongs to you, you're encouraging their crimes and encouraging the ghetto lifestyle. Yeah, they went with him. That's the woman, right? Your base is your woman. He stole your woman, seduced them, bribed them, pimped them, and he took them. And that doesn't affect you? You're not angry? You're sleeping good at nights? Are you out your fucking mind? That every chance you get, you say nothing about the Muhammads? You only pushing the narrative that the PPP is against the man? Why didn't I think about that? He has you in his pocket. He has all of you in his pocket. You see the power of money? In this case, illegal money. Because in no way the Muhammads can work hard for their money and give it away so easily just so they can use the people to attack their so-called opponents. So Aubrey Norton, you are in the pockets of the Muhammads, allegedly. That's why nobody from the PNC, not the Duncan guy, nobody from not even Campbell, nobody is criticizing, nobody is talking about the Muhammads, nobody is. And you will think this is their chance to get back the opposition seat. But because they are bought and sealed, they can't say anything. They can't. Even when the Mohammeds are gone, the PNC still cannot influence their way into getting the opposition leader's position. They still can't. Because why? Based on the monies they allegedly received by the Mohammeds, they can't go down that road. The opposition position has to stay within the Win camp. You would think that they would be angry. All the time they have press conferences, they don't talk shit about Mohammeds. They're only people with their balls because they're real men. That continues to warn Guyanese, continue to talk about the unfair practices of the Mohammeds, continue to put trust in the judicial system. Is President Ali and by the way, Barra Jagdi, did you call Ashudin? Have you called him? Please do that. Yes, the only people who talks about the crimes of the Mohammeds from day one are the PPP people. The president, the vice president, and the people within the PPP camp. And they're just Indian. What happened to the black people in the PPP? What happened to the ministers? The black ministers? Let's talk about the Home Affairs minister. Why isn't it that the black people in the PPP ministry, why none of them criticize the Mohammeds? Why none of them talks about the Mohammeds? The only person who tries is Kwame McCoy. He's the only one who's consistent as a black person against the Mohammeds. You could see that he wasn't compromised, that the Mohammeds didn't get to him. What happened to all the other blacks? Even the prime minister. What happened to all the other blacks in the PPP? You hear nothing from them about the Mohammeds. They don't talk. I mean, you would think You would think that they stand in solidarity with their party. But nothing. It's like this man has gotten to all these Negroes, PNC or PPP, all of them. The only real black PPP is Kwame McCoy. The only genuine one, sincere one, that you can say, hey, that brother there is a true PPP. Because he's consistent with his message. He has never wavered. He has consistently stood on the cherry note from day one. From as far back as I remembered when Kwame came on the scene on NCN, not NCN, Channel 69, Anand Prasad. I was around the same time. I was on the channel around the same time when Kwame McCoy came on with a show and we're talking on behalf of the PPP. The man has been consistent since then. But he's the only one. Barra Jagdeo, Kwame McCoy, President Irfan Ali. The only people from the PPP that stands up for justice, for law and order, and talking against the raping of the country's economy and country's resources by the Mohammeds. What happened to the others? I know, Minister. I'm not on the government's pay list or the PPP's pay list. It's like you can't trust these black people nowhere. Not the PPP, not the PNC. You can't trust them. You got to stand for what you believe in. Be consistent. Don't be a hypocrite. What the Mohammeds has done to Guyana is wrong. It is wrong. You claim there are other people too, then expose them. Expose the other people. Are there other people who are cheating the taxes? Expose them. Are there other people who are sanctioned, who are indicted? Expose them. Don't just speculate. Bring the evidence. The evidence is there overwhelmingly against the Mohammeds. They cheat the taxes. They are criminals. They commit so many crimes. They are liars. They're cheaters. The evidence is there to support that. See, if you're saying there are other people in the PPP who are guilty, oh my gosh, just bring the fucking evidence and stop talking. But I'm saying right now, the biggest threat to Guyana is Azriddin Mohammed. Because why? He's in collusion with Maduro, and Maduro's airspace, Venezuela airspace, is closed. Closed. It means the war has begun. More Venezuelan migrants are going to be flooding the country. And because Maduro can't get to America, he's going to try to destabilize Guyana using them thugs and their scraps that he flood the country with. The Guyana government needs to close the border now. Put the military on the border so that no Venezuelan can come over. Close the border now. They're going to come there and they're going to declare war on the citizens because of their leader who will be taken out by the Americans. You don't want that to happen to your country. We have come too far. The government has usurped enough resources in building that country that to have some foreign drug dealers and pimps and prostitutes come in and further inflate the situation. And because you have a certain group of Guyanese who hate their country, hate their governments, they're going to be colluding with the Venezuelans to destabilize the country. To destabilize the country. And there were Venezuelans amongst the Azriddin's protests. There were Venezuelans there too. Look at the crowd. There were Venezuelan nationals amongst the people who were protesting for Azriddin Mohammed. They were. So the next time they call a protest, the police should arrest everybody and then scan them. Arrest them and scan them. And if you realize that they are Venezuelan nationals, deport them. Anyway, it's Sunday, the first day of the week. So I want to thank you for your attention. Remember to share this live. Share this live. I want to hear what you think. Make your comments. Subscribe to the channel. Because by you subscribing to the channel, it helps us to grow. It helps us to reach the entire country. It helps us to keep the consistency of the message. Remember, I'm not bought. You can trust what I have to say. I put my information out there, the Zella account and the WhatsApp, for people who are kind at heart, to reach out and make donations. And for those of you who are criticizing me for doing that, why the fuck you don't criticize Paul Slow, the former commissioner, Paul Slow? He has money, right, doesn't he? He's a PNC pundit. But look at his life. There's always account number running there. Criticize David Hines and all them PNC people who are on the online running their shows and their program. They all have accounts for donations. Every fucking one of them. You don't criticize them. You say nothing about that. And they're getting their funds from billionaires. Nobody funds me. So for me to put, for my humble supporters, my humble, loyal supporters, to make contributions to my Zella account and to send, to wire whatever they can via Western Union and MoneyGram, you're criticizing me for that. Oh, I look rich. What about Paul Slow, David Hines, Shara Duncan, all the others? What about them? So you niggas are hypocritical? So you Negroes are hypocritical? I want to tell you something, but it's Sunday. I want to start the week, you know, a nice way. I want to start the week nice, you know. So look, to the black people who think that I don't deserve their support, give it to your people. Don't call and bluff and pretend, oh, I would like to make a donation. Don't do that. Okay, don't pretend. You know you wouldn't. You can't afford it. You're poor, you can't afford it. Don't pretend. Don't make a fool of yourself. I'm not falling for that. When a Caucasian person or a Chinese, yeah, they do, or an Indo-Guyanese or Indian wants to make a donation, they don't call and ask. They call, can I have your information? I give it. Within minutes, they send the receipt. Minutes. When the blacks do it, it takes days or weeks or never. No, never, because they don't. They just call and pretend and you know, they want to look good. Like, oh, I would like to, oh, I would like to. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm saying this because I want to piss you off, so you don't. Don't call me. Don't contact my agents. Don't do it. Okay? That's why I'm saying this. Because you're wasting my time, you're wasting their time. Don't contact anybody that you want to make donations. If you want to make donations, you will do it without talking. All right? It's pissing me off now because you're calling me out. You're spreading shit online about me. You're sending all these nonsensical messages, but you're not calling out David Hines and all these other PNC pundits who are spreading racism, who are lying, who are deceiving, who are dividing. You're not calling them out, and they're asking for donations every fucking day. But you're not telling them anything. But I'm the bad guy, so you can go fuck yourself. All right? It's enough that you can listen, follow the show. Good, thank you. But I don't need your money. I ain't the church. Give it to your church. I'm a bit hothead. I need therapy. I'm sorry. I just don't like people pissing me off, you know. Anyway, bye now.